Hello everyone, this is Caillou, back after a while, and I'm here to commentate the round 1 match for Grand Prix Estrathe. This is the first match of the Clicks of Nylon rotation for the Revolution format, and it is the biggest GP we've had in nigh on 2 years, the third biggest GP we've ever had, so it's going to be really exciting to see a bunch of these new players come out and show what they're made of, which is what we're seeing here. We've got Redbay on a blue-white control list versus Drake on blue-white tempo. Both these decks obviously looking to leverage powerful interaction, but in extremely different ways. And we're already seeing a pretty neat play from Drake. Opened up with a turn 1 Spellbane Sentinel, which is obviously really good in controlling mirror matchups like this, and then it dropped a Curiosity on it with the Ocular Insight. So he's going to get tons of card flow and card selection from that. And Redbay doesn't have any answers until turn 4. And that's even assuming that by the time it gets to turn 4, Drake doesn't have a counterspell, which for now Drake doesn't. He's going to drop Redeveloped Cityscape to grab a fix for the white source to be able to play the Symbol of the Revolution. Can also next, I think that you can play Symbol, but I think you also want to just... The weird thing is, normally you want to play Shrine to Keranos pre-combat, but I think here you want to attack with Spellbane, try to see if you draw into actual counter... Okay, actually, a second Spellbane Sentinel is counter magic, so I think you could just drop Shrine to Keranos here and start cycling through, but Drake's hand is honestly pretty good, so maybe you just go Symbol of the Revolution, Spellbane Sentinel, swing with Spellbane Sentinel again to draw a card, and you're off to the races here. And sure, one of them will get countered by Omen of Deception, but you're already so far ahead. Okay, and there's a piece of counter magic, Drake drawing the Gentle Grasp. The format's now only piece of mono white counter magic, and while it's not really that attractive for more controlling lists, for aggro and tempo, this thing is a house. So, yeah, Drake is just going to run out the second Spellbane Sentinel, just going to double that clock to a whopping 9 turns. But is also going to try and run out the Shrine. Okay. Interesting. That one... Oh, and Drake is going to sacrifice the Spellbane Sentinel to get the Shrine to resolve? Interesting. Okay. My thought is, you want to keep around Spellbane Sentinel in case Redbay has removal for your other Spellbane Sentinel, because this one's going to keep drawing you cards. Is Shrine that important? Drake isn't getting punished for this because Redbay doesn't have removal right now, but I think that trade of resources is not one that maybe I'm thinking a little too conservatively here, but yeah, that is not a trade I agree with. Meanwhile, Redbay has lands for days, but not much else. Shengfa does just win the game if it resolves, but I can't see a board scenario where it will. Yeah, Agent of Deception is another way to counter that. Okay, Drake discards Agent of Deception to draw a card with Shrine to Keranos, and then is going to get another thing here. Drake's hand is just sculpted at this point. Interesting. Going for the Social Engineering, I kind of thought that you might want... Oh, he's going to tap out for Parapet Awakener? Again, Drake is playing this a lot less conservatively than I would have thought. Because my thing is, you're already in control of this game, so handily, that I would think that you just want to, play it slow, keep up your resources, and just... Because, yeah, you could... I feel like Drake could have just, okay, especially this turn, okay, just play Symbol of the Revolution. Keep up turn to Nyx. You can counter literally everything in their deck. Okay. But is discarding Symbol? Yeah, I don't know. Drake is obviously more of an expert on how the deck functions, but yeah. I feel like Drake is in such a command position here that it kind of doesn't matter what he does, but yeah, it's a little surprising. Okay, we'll get the Redeveloped Cityscape. That will put Drake at 5 lands next turn to be able to start pumping out Parapet Awakener tokens, which is pretty neat. That way, anytime Redbay taps out on their turn or essentially makes a little bit of a wrong-footed move, Parapet Awakener can just threaten to blow it all up. And now, in terms of interaction, both Gentle Grasp and Veto online. and veto online for 2 thanks to Shrine to Keranos. So yeah, I if you're Redbay, I don't know how you get back into this game. You need to kind of just hit wipe after wipe after wipe, and even if you hit wipe after wipe after wipe, so like again, there's 3. You're starting down 3 counterspells in Drake's hand, plus Social Engineering, which can rebuy a threat, Shrine to Keranos, which allows Drake to quickly scale up. Like yeah, this is, and Spellbane means that yeah, you need. So now Redbay can cast Fall of Volantin if Drake ever taps out. If Drake taps out, you get Fall of Volantin. Okay, is gonna play a Sleeper Strix. What once was a dinky clock is now a 3-turn clock, thanks to the 5 flying power on board. And Drake is going to respect the potential for the Fall of Volantin. Not going to Social Engineering. Like, Social Engineering Parapet Awakener would be a greedy play, but it's not going to go for that. Ooh, and Nitrous Elemental is really good here. Because actually, yeah, you play Nitrous Elemental, and you kill next turn. And not only do you kill next turn, you kill next turn with... You have... oh no, Drake... Ow, Drake, why did you exile the Gentle Grasp? But okay, it doesn't matter. You still have... You can play Nitrous Elemental, and then still have both Turn to Nyx and Veto. So I think that has to be the play. Yeah, and discards of Social Engineering. Yeah, double Nitrous Elemental. Yeah, it's free. Before damage, just Windmill Slam one of these. No? Huh, I think that's a mistake. Not one that's going to matter because Redbay is just out of the game. But again, it's free because then you don't have to worry about not having your interaction up. And it makes your clock into a 2-turn one rather than 1 turn. I guess the idea is Nitrous Elemental is flash, so you can cast it on Redbay's end step for surprise lethal. But nah, I don't know. Especially with the double Nitrous, I don't think that you need to worry about that. On end, Redbay's going to go for the Fall of Volantin. Think you just veto this, yeah? Yep. So yeah, no wipe for Redbay there. And this Shengfa literally can't resolve because, like, as Redbay knows, the Spellbane Sentinel is just going to counter it. So yeah, Redbay is going to concede. So a pretty commanding game 1 from Drake. Just, the turn 1 drop into turn 2 Curiosity, and then just completely it gave Drake perfect like the Shrine to Keranos plus the Ocular gave Drake perfect hand sculpting. And even though I think they were even if I wouldn't call them misplays, plays I don't super agree with, I think that there is ultimately it came down to as a control deck, you're so far gone by that point that you have a very small margin of what can actually pull you out there. And Redbay just wasn't... Redbay just needed that early removal, essentially. Okay, going into game 2. No turn 1s here from Drake, because of the redeveloped Cityscape. But we'll have some flash threats starting turn 2 with the Nitrous and the Sleeper Strix. Meanwhile, Redbay... Again, this is a no interaction hand. But starting next turn can ebb and flow, I guess. The double Temple is pretty harsh on the... on the tempo here, but I guess helps Redbay quickly dig for any interaction, because you're getting 2 scries, and then Ebb and Flow is going to give you a 3rd scry and then a draw, so you're getting a lot of card velocity that way. Or I guess card selection, not velocity, but you know what I mean. So Drake just plays out the redeveloped Cityscape. Redbay not playing the 2nd Temple. Interesting. I guess it's trying to feign as though they have counter magic, especially since the top deck Pool of Light means that they will have access to double blue sources next turn without needing the Temple, so could theoretically hold up Studies and Cognitive Motion. So okay, I can see that. Drake, meanwhile, is going to play a top deck Spellbane Sentinel. This little guy's definitely been annoying the hell out of Redbay last match, so... But this time doesn't have the Curiosity effect, so might be a little less annoying. So on end, Redbay is gonna play out the Ebb and Flow, effectively opt here. Redbay's deck doesn't have any creatures, let alone Krakens, Leviathans, Octopi, or Serpents, so it's just an opt. Is gonna draw into the Omen of Deception, and Security Initiative isn't half bad either. So yeah, he's just gonna play the Pool of Light on end. Drake's gonna crack that Cityscape, find some white sources. Yep. Oh my god, actually does top deck the Curiosity. It's an MDFC, which is why we're getting to see the backside here. But so yeah, could just go because has turn into Nyx, which I guess Nick turn into Nyx doesn't actually copy anything at this point. But no, isn't gonna I would have windmill. I think that is how you just carry away the game. But I guess is worried about being 2-for-1 by removal. On end, Redbay is going to just play out the security initiative. Tap down the planes, which doesn't actually matter here. All of Drake's spells at instant speed, other than social engineering, are mono blue as far as I know. So Drake is going to say thinking to try and pretend. Or no, it's not going to. Okay, it's just going to. Okay, it's just going to windmill slam the Nitrous Elemental. Okay. I guess the idea is wants to be able to go Nitrous Elemental, like use the mana to play Nitrous Elemental and then potentially slam a Sleeper Strix or Ebb and Flow, which this is, I mean, it is a little risky. I guess Drake doesn't have any way to counter a Fall of a Lantern anyways, so it's kind of just relying on Redbay not having that, or Redbay being afraid of a veto, so not casting it until they have 5 mana. So I could see either of those being true. Ooh, the main phase Thirst for Answers from Redbay. Does get Redbay Assured Destruction as a piece of removal. And then, Shengfa as wipe plus win-con is pretty good if it ever gets to resolve. The issue is obviously resolving it. I think that you wanted to just I don't know why Redbay keeps playing these Thirst for Answers at sorcery speed. And now, Nitrous Elemental and the boys, Sleeper Strix coming down. All of a sudden, this is looking really scary for Redbay, because we're up to just shy of a 3-turn clock, and there's several easy ways to turn to a 3-turn clock, especially with is Drake okay? No, it's gonna. I thought Drake might be about to tap out for the second Nitrous Elemental, and I would have gone crazy for that, because then that turns your current board into 9 damage, and that means you kill next turn. Of course, if you get wiped, you are extremely sad about it, which is why Drake is going to keep up the turn to next to counter potential Fall of a Lantern. And yeah, grabs another one off the Oracle. So yeah, I think this is the type of thing where you're killing in 3 turns now. If you ever get a 4th land, then you can threaten to counter whatever. If Redbay taps out, you counter it with turn to Nyx, and then you just play Nitrous Elemental. Okay, Redbay is going to run out Assured Destruction, and is going to choose all 3 modes. Pretty fair. Drake is going to try and turn to Nyx this, but then Redbay is going to Omen of Deception it back. Yeah. And then Drake is going to counter that with the Spellbane Sentinel. Insane sequence of events. So ultimately all that happens is Drake loses the Spellbane Sentinel and a turn to Nyx, but still keeps the Nitrous Elemental, which is going to be drawing Drake cards. And it's not the worst, because again, Drake still has another piece of counter magic in hand. And I think here you want to land more than anything. Oh no, okay, Spellbane Sentinel also works. And now that Redbay has 6 cards in grave, this turn to Nyx will counter the Shengfa, which Redbay can't even run out Shengfa next turn because Spellbane Sentinel. Wow, yeah, this is. I think Redbay's deck is very much built around like out-greeding lots of the decks in the format, and it's not working out right now. Because Drake's deck is the exact opposite. It's looking, because there's so many like chunky decks in the middle of the format right now. Really grindy mid-range decks with a lot of card flow and some powerful 2 to 4 mana engines. And Drake is like, I'll just get under that, and Redbay's like, I'll just go over that. And right now it looks like going under that is just winning. Because yeah, okay, Redbay is representing Fall of a Lantern mana, so you don't want to tap out for that Nitrous Elemental, which would have been lethal otherwise. Yeah, again, if you're Drake, you just go for another land, you have turn to Nyx and Gentle Grasp, and you just win. Yeah, okay. So now Drake has 2 pieces of interaction. I don't think there's literally anything Redbay can do to save themselves. So, yeah. On end, Studies and Cognitive Motion. If you're Drake, you just let this resolve. Yeah. Because you don't care about them drawing into an answer, because you have 2 counterspells for it. You just want to stop you want to stop the actual answer. Redbay bottoming 2 lands off of this, draws into 3 more. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Okay, let's see it. Okay, well, you have to play a land. Try to... Oh, okay, Redbay just going to say GG. I was going to say you have to play the Shengfa and hope that they don't have it. But Redbay realizes Drake definitely has it, so... Wow, yeah. In commanding fashion, Drake takes it over Redbay 2-0 and proves which is the better blue-white interactive deck. Still, I think that Redbay's deck does have a lot of strength against some of the greedier and slower lists that we've seen crop up with the introduction of Clicks being a 3-color set. So we'll have to see. I think that it still has a chance to perform further on into the tournament. And obviously Drake's list is one of the decks to beat. It's got 4 pilots on blue-white tempo, so we'll have to see what the conversion rate is as the tournament. But until then, this has been Caillou, and for the first time in this tournament, but hopefully not the last, signing off.